Hi, and welcome to AE Help's IELTS test preparation videos. This lesson and the materials you see are taken from aehelp.com. For lots more help with the academic IELTS, please visit us there and join our full course. This lesson is another example of IELTS Writing Task 2, the essay question. In this lesson, you will see how to make sure that you understand the question correctly, how to plan an effective response, and how to write an essay which will get you a high score. So first, let's start with the example question. Write about the following topic. Are higher taxes or lower taxes better for society? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. You should spend no more than 40 minutes on this task. Okay, so clearly here we have a question which is asking you to make a decision between two choices, lower taxes or higher taxes. All right, let's take the next step and make sure that we understand this question clearly. Okay, so the first step when you're doing task 2 for IELTS is just make sure that you understand the question clearly. Now, this is quite a short question, and sometimes the questions are quite a bit longer. It doesn't matter. Make sure that you understand the question clearly, and the best way to do this is to paraphrase the question in your own words. Again, practice this frequently at home, and make sure to do it even when you sit the official exam. Again, remember that paraphrasing the question won't just ensure that you've correctly understood the question, but it will also help you to think about a good answer, as well as provide you with some very useful vocabulary, some synonyms, and so forth, for some of the key terms that you will be using throughout the essay. So again, what you want to do is you want to write the original question down first when you're practicing at home. So are higher taxes or lower taxes better for society? Okay, so again, remember there are different skills of paraphrasing. So you can paraphrase with synonyms, you can paraphrase with antonyms combined with negatives, expressions, phrasal verbs, idioms, so on. Grammar as well, it's very common. So here, what I want to do is I want to think about maybe some other words for the term taxes. Another way to say taxes is levy or tariff. Society is a key word. Another way to say society is culture or community. Better, positive, advantageous, beneficial. So these are some different words. Again, if you have trouble coming up with synonyms, just use a thesaurus. There are online thesauruses, or some software includes a thesaurus as well. Okay, so here I go with a paraphrase. I'm going to use a different color. When you're doing this at home, again, write out the original sentence and then write your paraphrase above. Of course, in the exam, save some time. Just write the paraphrase on somewhere on the piece of paper. So, which is more beneficial for a culture, more or less tariff? Okay, so here's my paraphrase. Now I'm sure that I understand the question clearly. I'm able to paraphrase it, so I can go on to the next step and actually plan my response. Once you know that you understand the question and you're clear about it, of course, your next step is to plan the essay. Now, in the official exam, you only have 40 minutes for task 2, so you have to do this quickly, and perhaps you will be doing it in your mind only. But at home, definitely do it with pen and paper over and over, practicing it again and again, so that you can do this quickly when you're sitting the official IELTS. Don't try to guess what the question will be for task 2 on the next IELTS. It's not realistic. There are so many different kinds of questions that they can come up with. So be ready to plan your response in the situation. And very importantly, don't just start writing without planning. That's a very sure way to make mistakes and to have an incoherent essay at the end. Again, your coherence and your structure in your writing are two of the biggest parts that contribute to the score. So if you don't have a coherent essay, or you don't have an essay with good structure, it's very difficult to get a high score, even if you have good English skills, good vocabulary and grammar. So make sure that you practice planning. Now, the best way to plan your essay is to use some critical thinking. Again, from previous lessons, by this time you should know that critical thinking is applying the questions of what, why, and how to a statement or to a question such as task 2. So again, that's what we want to do here. So the first question that we're going to ask ourselves is, what is the question about? So what is this question about? The answer, it's about high and low taxes. So high and low taxes. Now, again, be careful here, because if you say just taxes, it's not really going to help you to think about this. So it's about high or low taxes, okay? So have that complete topic there. Now, why are we talking about this? Again, here, this is a nice simple example, because the question tells us why we're talking about this. So do you remember what the question said? It said, high or low taxes, which is better for society? So why are we talking about it? Because we're talking about which is better for society. Now, the third question, of course, is how. So how are higher or lower taxes potentially better for society? And this is where you need to start using your critical thinking more deeply, because there isn't a clear answer to this given in the question. This is where you will come up with your choice, and that will create your essay. So how are taxes, just ask this question, how are taxes better or useful for a society? Well, ideally, we have taxes in a society because we want to have a peaceful and prosperous society. So how? By creating a peaceful and functional society. All right, great. So here I have my what, why, how. Again, this is almost an insurance to make sure that I understand the question. And also it's helping me to begin thinking about a correct response. So I have to make a decision here. Am I going to go with higher taxes? Am I going to go with lower taxes? Now, I'm living in a Canadian society where we pay higher taxes, so I'm more familiar with this system. So it's an easier choice for me as long as I have some good reasons for choosing this, which I happen to have. So my choice is going to be higher taxes. And then very, very importantly, when you have this kind of a question for task 2 where you have to choose between 2 or 3 or 4 options, you should, of course, when you make your choice, ask yourself why. So why do I choose this option? So in this case, why do I choose higher taxes? Well, from my own experience, and the questions asked for this, I know that with higher taxes, there tends to be more balance of wealth in society. As well, there tends to be more money for social services and infrastructure, such as building roads, building hospitals, and so on. So my two reasons here, why, is more balance and better development. All right, and these 2 points, so make sure you have at least 2 points, no more than 3 points, will eventually make up my body paragraphs as well as my thesis statement. So here I have my critical thinking. Now again, if I'm sitting the official IELTS exam, I would do this very quickly in my mind because I've practiced at home. And doing it at home, I would do it like this and write it down on paper. So let's go ahead now and write the example response, beginning with the introductory paragraph. Beginning with the introduction, as with all essays, the first sentence, of course, needs to be your hook. This is that interesting statement or sentence that's going to catch the attention of your reader. So again, think of general facts or general knowledge or ideas that are connected with the topic, in this case, the high and low tax. And with the IELTS questions, the topics are usually something that most people have some idea about and some kind of unique information about or interesting information about. So one interesting fact about taxes is they have been a part of society for many, many years, thousands of years, and possibly they have been a part of maybe every culture. And another fact, if I'm thinking about taxes, that we know is we really don't like taxes. So when most people get asked about tax, they'll say, oh, I hate taxes. So these are some common facts, some common ideas. So any of these will make a good hook as long as you put it together well. So here I go with my hook. Taxes. We cannot live with them or without them. So this is just a fact that comes from thinking that we all hate taxes, but we all live with taxes. So simply taxes. We cannot live with them or without them. Makes a good hook. It generally makes, I believe, the reader interested. It makes me interested if I read this. So I'll continue on. Now, again, the next part of the introduction should be some kind of a background information or a definition. So figuring out, what is a tax or why do we have them? So a little bit about the importance of this topic. So tariff has been a source of conflict in many societies, or you could even say most societies, throughout history. They have been necessary payments to officials or authorities to maintain function in society. So here I give some information about why this is important. It's a common topic of debate and conflict in society, taxes, and as well a little bit of a definition of what it is. It's payment to authorities to maintain the function of society. Now, the final part of the introduction, which is potentially the most important part of your essay, is the thesis statement. This is the last part of your introduction, which tells the reader exactly what you're going to discuss, what are going to be the points that you will emphasize throughout your essay. So make sure that you write a strong thesis. Again, a good thesis will make your essay, a bad thesis will break your essay. So keep that in mind. Okay, in my opinion, higher taxes are better for a culture because it helps to create balance among the poor and wealthy, as well as infrastructure and public services. Okay, so this is my thesis statement. It's very clear what I'm doing, and it will tell the reader clearly what body paragraphs 1 and 2 will be about. So in my opinion, higher taxes are better for a culture because it helps to create balance among the poor and wealthy and helps to create infrastructure and public service. So make sure that the grammar and the paralleling in your thesis is very clear. Here it looks good, so now I can begin my first body paragraph with balance among the poor and wealthy, and then of course my second body paragraph will be helps to create infrastructure and public service. So let's go ahead and write our body paragraph 1. Okay, so beginning body 1, of course, with our topic sentence. So the topic sentence should be about the first point of the thesis, which is creating balance in society with higher taxes. Why? Because wealthier people pay more, less fortunate people pay less. So higher taxes, and of course indent your 5 spaces. So higher taxes means that wealthier citizens pay more, while the less fortunate contribute or pay minimal or minimum. Okay, so this is my topic sentence. Now I need to explain this a little bit further, what I mean by this or how this leads to balance. So the money contributed by the rich is used to help the poor So this can safeguard the less fortunate from becoming completely distressed. When higher taxes balance wealth in this way, there is a greater sense of camaraderie or camaraderie. Camaraderie means companionship or partnership among people in society. So now you need to follow this with an example. In my case, again, using Canada, since that's what I'm familiar with, is a good idea for my example. Be specific with your example. So in Canada, there are social services such as welfare, which comes from tax money, and that's used to assist people who are less fortunate so that they don't feel lost. So in Canada, taxes are used to assist the poor with welfare, and this aids to maintain peace in the public. Okay, so I have a specific example. Now I want to make sure that I connect to my next body paragraph, so keep it simple. Use a similar type of phrase. This is one of two reasons why I believe that more tariff is better. Okay, so this concludes my first body paragraph, this sentence, and it allows me to connect the next paragraph with the second reason why I believe that paying a higher levy is beneficial for a society. So again, remember, your body paragraph needs a good topic sentence, a solid explanation, and a really nice specific example that allows your reader to agree with what you're saying and to clearly comprehend what you're expressing or what you're arguing. All right, let's do paragraph 2. All right, continuing with body paragraph 2, same structure as body paragraph 1, topic sentence, explanation, and example. Again, indent your 5 spaces. To see the rest of this writing lesson and for lots more help with the writing section as well as other parts of the Academic IELTS, please visit us at www.aehelp.com and join the full IELTS course.